Hello everyone, welcome to GGN. Today is Friday, June 29th, 2012, and I'm Darko. This is my website, ggnonline.com. There's a poll up there, you can check on it and vote how long until a drone kills the first American on American soil. So far, the majority are saying within the next year, followed by the next 2 years. You can follow GGN with your email address, also on YouTube, ddarko2012 and ddarko2013. And if you'd like to help, you can donate right there. So, and there's also a little news archive there. So, I'm ready to go here, and we're going to cover the economy. And the biggest news, of course, is Obamacare approved. It was kind of shelved for a while there, and now it's back from the dead. So, and a little bit of eugenics, because you have financial warfare, and then you have social warfare, you have eugenics, and it kind of all just is immersed, right, in the same global agenda. So it says here, Obamacare approved, IRS to force Americans to buy health insurance. It says it's a victory for Obama and a travesty for the middle class. The Supreme Court upheld Obama's health care mandate, empowers the IRS to begin to regulate America's health care by 2014. Expect IRS thugs armed with shotguns knocking at your door to fine you almost $700 a person or $2,000 per household for failure to purchase health insurance. If you fail to pay the outrageous fine, expect to be sued by the IRS. It says here that revised healthcare laws remove the penalty of almost $250,000 in imprisonment up to 5 years. It says here this ruling allows the federal government to force citizens to enter a contract with private corporations to buy health insurance. This is happening just days before the 4th of July, when Americans won its independence from British tyranny, and now we face the same tyranny today. It says here by 2014, all Americans will have to submit or face being fined and sued by the Internal Revenue Service. The American people are already struggling financially with record unemployment, inflation, and trillions of dollars in national debt. By the time health insurance becomes mandatory, the middle class will be financially bankrupt. This is the reason why the military and police are preparing for martial law in the U.S. streets, says because people will revolt against the system that has basically turned people into financial slaves. So it says here that they're conditioning Americans with checkpoints and speed traps, army drones to spy on us. We're going to cover all this, rolling out the tanks and putting military goons on residential streets to prepare us for what is to come in the future. It says here the Bilderberg Group discussed in Spain about wanting to level America into a third world impoverished nation where we're all poor under world government dictatorship. It says here soon the Americans' standard of living will drop significantly, and it won't just be the standard of living, it will be their age of death, right? Their basically the average lifespan. It says here services will be cut. We're going to get into that too, death pathway and stuff like that. Taxes will be increased until we become so poor that we are unable to fight, and resistance will be futile. As Americans issue split decision on healthcare ruling, nearly 2/3 believe politics played too great a role. So it says Americans are sharply divided over Thursday's Supreme Court decision on the 2010 healthcare law, with 46% agreeing and 46% disagreeing with the High Court's ruling that the law is constitutional. Then you have from the Daily Bail, Obamacare complicated. Check out the flow chart. And yeah, there's our buddy, the IRS, right there. But it's just a god-awful mess. And you have Secretary of Health and Human Services in the middle. All these different vested interests, all these different bureaucracies. And the biggest invested interest that helped write the bill was the insurance companies. And they're the ones that are going to basically, how could you say, not profit. Well, they will profit, but they're going to get the best advantage from this, right? And if you would like an anarchist perspective on the whole Obamacare thing, I think Stefan Molyneux did a pretty good analysis of this. I think he held back a lot. I think he's gone over it and made his point so many times, his argument, that he was actually kind of just laid back about it. So it's kind of nice. It's 18 minutes, not too long. The truth about Obamacare, yes, it's even worse than you think. And right here in the description, he puts in there the 6 facts that he presents in his argument. So fact 1, there is no law in the U.S. anymore. Basically what he's saying is that if they could just do anything, then there's no law, right? And it's tricky because, in quote, in a stateless society, there would be what? No law. Well, there would still be common law. See, this isn't common law. This is political law. That's why you have pigs, political law enforcement, and the like that are going to be enforcing this, federal agents and that. So in other words, what he's saying is that you might as well just have no government, because right here you have a dictatorship with, quote, laws, right? They have laws that basically write in a dictatorship. So we have here Obamacare is an admission that all previous government health care programs have failed. So, and this is true. I remember the recording, about Nixon and stuff like that, getting people on Medicaid. It doesn't really matter whether it's good or not. And in fact, costs have already doubled from initial estimates, and that's usually how it works. As soon as this gets closer to fruition, oh yeah, some hidden costs. Sorry, guys. Fact 4, 70% plus of healthcare issues result from individual choice. So the thing about it, he's talking about smoking, drinking, eating basically a lot of bad food and stuff like that. You can actually help. But a lot of these people that are going to, quote, benefit from this are not going to be doing anything to help their own health, right? So it says here the inability to discriminate on pre-existing conditions is an essential driver of healthcare cost. So I think what he's saying there is it's not very free market. It says here that the fines for non-compliance are destined to rise enormously. We have 15 reasons why the Obamacare decision is a mind-blowing disaster for America. It was actually, it says here it was voted 5-4 decision to uphold the vote. And it says here, the bill, it says here the swing vote was Chief Justice John Roberts, who was appointed by George Bush, W. Bush. And not that you'd have any confidence in the judicial system as it stands, just based off past history and their track record. It says here, after the vote today, it is hard to have any faith in the U.S. Supreme Court. I guess they're saying because he was quote conservative. According to the Supreme Court, the federal government has the power to force you to buy private goods and services. And it goes on and says here that it's another step away from individual liberty, another step towards a nanny state. I hate that word. But it says here IRS is now going to be given the task of hunting down and penalizing Americans. And it says here, in fact, the Obama administration has given the IRS $500 million extra outside the normal appropriation process to help them enforce the provisions of Obamacare they're in charge of overseeing. It imposes more than 20 new taxes on the American people. And you can click the link there. If you click the title of this article, you can find it and check it out. So it says here, number 5, an attempt to control costs and promote efficiency. Obamacare limits the treatment options that doctors and patients can consider. In other words, the death pathway, right? The British system, this is likely to result in a decrease in life expectancy. That's what I was talking about in the United States in the beginning of this video. So yeah, it's going to send health insurance premiums soaring, especially for younger Americans, and it's going to